What's kicking, guys? We are here today to do mobility drills with this homemade tennis ball mobility device. When making this, I mentioned something about a T-spine, which is the thoracic portion of your spine. So it's the middle of your back. And so we use this mobility device or roller to massage the muscles that run along the middle part of our spine and basically just mobilize and open up the joints that typically very stiff because of all the sitting that most people do. You can use a regular foam roller to do this. This device, the shape of it follows the shape of the musculature along your spine, and therefore I think it's just a little more practical, or it gets in, it does a better job. And I find that you get more mobilization from using something like this as opposed to a foam roller. So the first thing we're going to do is work out where to place this. Using the arrows on my shirt, this roller is going to go just below the arrows, right? So just above the arch of my lower back is where I begin doing my mobilization, right? So hopefully you can all see that. That's around the part where I start. You can, if you like, roll all the way down your lower back if you feel like, but ideally it's from the upper portion of your lower back all the way up to, let's say about the top of those arrows is where we're trying to mobilize. So first things first, what we're going to do is lie down on our backs, obviously keeping in mind that the foam roller, or this roller rather, not foam roller, needs to be just below those arrows. And I try to hold it in that position, and I come down like so, just gently. Okay, so once that roller is positioned right in the middle of my back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit up and then sit back down. Sit up and then sit back down. Now doing this, you might get a couple of clicks. I know I've already got one or two, and that's fine. It's normal. It's what we're actually trying to do. So once you've done 2 or 3 sit-ups, what you then do is sit up, use your hands to base if you need to, and then scoot your bum or your hips just about a centimeter or two down, so the roller rolls a centimeter or two up your spine. And then from that position, again, what we do is we gently lower all the way down, and then we sit back up, little crunch, all the way down, sit back up. We'll do that 3 times. Again, if you're getting a few clicks, that's fine. After you do those 3 sit-ups, what I want you to do is take a deep diaphragmatic breath, breathe into your belly. And as you exhale, I just want you to let go of as much tension as you can in your upper body. Once you've done that, I want you to sit up, use your hands or your arms or your elbows rather, and then scoot your hips down just a little bit, another centimeter or two. Now, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to sit as far back as we can go. And we're going to sit up. We'll do 3 reps. What we're trying to do is segmentally work our way through the thoracic region of our spine. Okay, so I've done my 3. So now I'm sitting up. What I'm going to do is take a deep diaphragmatic breath into my belly. And as I exhale, I'm just going to let go of as much tension as I can and let my upper body sink towards the floor. All right. I'm going to do that again. Take another deep diaphragmatic breath. You can see my belly's raising. It's full of air. As I exhale, sink in a little more. Now, once you get into this position, you might find that your arms are stopping you or providing a bit of resistance. So what you can do is cross your arms over like so. Right? Once we get into the upper portion of that thoracic region, you'll have to cross your arms over completely where your elbows are in line with one another. Okay, and the reason we do that is to move the shoulder blades out of the way, so we can actually roll along the spine. If your shoulder blades are close together and your elbows are flat out like this, your shoulder blades are close together and it inhibits you from getting into your spine. So I give myself a hug, I line up my elbows, and from this position, I take a deep breath again. And as I exhale, I sink into that. All right, and so now my head and my shoulders are somewhat touching the mat, but that doesn't mean I can't do this again. So I'll take another deep breath.
into my belly. And as I exhale, I relax and I just let go of all that tension. I might even try to rock from side to side a little. Okay, most certainly be getting a few clicks as you're doing this. It's fine, don't be alarmed. It's part of the process. From here, we sit back up. We scoot our hips down so the roller goes up just a little more, and then we start that process again. So we go back and forth, do 3 reps, 2, 3. From this position, I'm going to take that deep diaphragmatic breath, so you'll see my belly rise. And as I exhale, I let go of that tension and I just sink. And again. Now, once you get further up your spine, what you might start doing is playing around using your feet and your hips and bridging and just oscillating, using your feet and your hips to kind of oscillate back and forth a little, right? Try that again. We'll do one more breath. As you exhale, let go of that tension, right? And if you look at my hips, what I'm actually going to do is I use my feet to rock my body back and forth a little. And I can also lift my hips. And as you lift your hips, you'll feel some more pressure um, from the mobility tool into your spine, which is fine, right? So, as I've always said in the past, mobility is an explorative thing. So, you're exploring your body and you're familiarizing or you're acquainting yourself with parts of your body that you don't typically engage. So take your time, relax, side to side, back and forth, lift the hips, play around, find those tight areas. Now again, what we're going to do is scoot our hips down just a little more, another centimeter or two, and then we'll do our 3 sit-ups. That's 1, 2, 3. On the third, I might even lift my hips up a bit to put a bit more pressure on my spine. Okay, so I've done those 3 rocks or sit-ups, and now I'm going to do the breathing technique. So I'll take that deep diaphragmatic breath. Right, there's not a lot of movement right now. I mean, my head really can't go any further back. So I might take one last breath. And this is where I have to start using my hips. And so if you look back at my hips, you can see that I'm lifting them off the ground and I'm using my hips to seesaw over the anchor point, which is the mobility tool. Okay, I might play around a couple more sit-ups, might rock, might go side to side. Okay, I might try to engage my upper back muscles and just pull myself or rock myself with my upper back over that. Again with the hips. All right. And so if I sit up and you were to look at, well, sit across, you'll see where the foam roller is or where the roller is. All right. That's probably about as high as you want to go. Maybe a touch higher um, if you're feeling a little tense or tied up in those areas further up. But that's as high as I feel like I need to go. And then from this position, once I've gone through all of those sit ups and the breathing exercises and the rocking from side to side and back and forth, I'll then put my hands back down and then I'll use my hands and my hips to gently roll up and down my spine a couple of times. You might get a few more clicks as you're doing that. Once you've done that, you've basically gone through a mobility exercise with this thoracic roller, if that's what we can call it. If you have any questions, send me a DM and or shoot me a message, and I'll answer them for you. But this is really important stuff. So this is something that I recommend a lot of people do, particularly before upper body upper body specific workouts. I mean, squats even. This is something really good for you to kind of open up your spine and get that high chest position, because you hear people talking about eyes up, chest up, and staying nice and tall through the spine, right? And so if you have a look at my spine, I'm in a neutral position now. I sit all day and I start slumping over, right? And I round out my upper back. The reason we use this roller is to open up all of those muscles in the upper part of my back so that I
can get into a more neutral position, right? And so now if you look at me, you can tell that I've got better posture than this. I'm not rounded out. So I come into this neutral spine and you can see that my chest is coming up, right? So chest up, eyes up, right? It's a very common coaching cue, and that is coming from the thoracic region. If you look carefully at my lower back, I'm not arching through my lower back to get my chest up, right? So I'm slumped over in a bad position. Now someone says chest up and I arch through my lower back. And it seems like my chest is up, but all I'm doing is placing a lot more pressure on that lower back, on the arch of my lower back. And that's not what I'm trying to do. So my lower back is in a neutral position, but I'm kyphotic, I'm arched over. I use my thoracic mobility tool to open up those thoracic junctions. And when I chest up, it comes from the upper portion of my spine. Thanks for tuning in.